The Secrets of the Dragon, a Bagua Qigong. In ancient times, the dragon was considered a symbol of good luck. Zhang Di, the Yellow Emperor, was said to have united the northern tribes to first form the nation that would someday be modern China. At the time of this formation, each tribe had its own totem. Rather than having a situation in which the tribes were at odds as to which totem would be prominent, the emperor incorporated the various totems into a fictional animal known as a dragon. The dragon was a symbol of good luck because it was considered a holy animal that also represented great power and versatility. Traditionally, it was believed that those who knew the secrets of the dragon would then have the ability to understand and succeed in the changing world in which they lived. Fuxi, a legendary king, was said to know the secrets of the dragon. He used the 8 trigrams as a code for the 8 secrets. His code was known as the pre-birth 8 trigrams. Later, King Wen, an actual person, developed the post-birth symbol known as the Ho Tian. This symbol is said to be easier for the average person to use in daily living. The chart is unnecessarily confusing to Westerners because it conforms to the Chinese convention of showing the south on the top of a map. We have turned the chart around so that it conforms to Western convention. But, in so doing, the symbol for water has been placed on the top and fire on the bottom, which is opposite to Chinese tradition. This is the only conceptual problem we've encountered. The Bagua Qigong that we are introducing was originally designed for Bagua Zhang practitioners to enhance their energy, stamina, power issuing, and focus. It is designed to follow the sequence of the Ho Tian as created by King Wen during the early part of the Zhou dynasty. These trigrams are almost 3,000 years old. Each of these trigrams represent a direction, and each also represents one of the 5 elements. Each element has both a yin and yang property, except for the fire and water elements. Each trigram also relates to an animal and to a part of the human body. Taken as a whole, the trigram pattern is composed of all the possible combinations of yin and yang in groups of 3. The solid lines are yang, and the broken lines are yin. The Ho Tian, or post-birth trigram pattern, has been applied in traditional Chinese medicine, feng shui, astrology, mathematics, and many other areas. From the perspective of the martial artist, this Qigong is designed to make use of these ancient principles in such a way as to enhance one's skill and understanding. But this Qigong should not be considered as limited only to martial artists. The general population can benefit by learning how to focus or concentrate their minds. Also, many of the benefits of traditional Chinese medicine will be available to the practitioner of this Qigong as their skill level develops. Directions are emphasized in this Qigong because the ancients believed that orientation of direction with the Earth's magnetic field affected the biomagnetic energy of human beings. This same premise is the basis of feng shui. Receiving the Earth's magnetic energy requires more than orientation of direction. Certain postures are required. When we do this Qigong, we put the body into position to maximize receipt of the Earth's magnetic energy. Also, with each direction, a different part of the body is emphasized, so that the magnetic energy from the Earth, most conducive to that part of the body involved, is received. It is difficult for those first learning this material to be facing in the proper direction and still watch their video monitors. For this reason, we suggest that you be aware of the direction you should be facing, but do the movements facing the monitor screen. Once you are able to remember the sequence and do the movements independently of this presentation, we suggest you turn to the appropriate direction as you perform each move. By definition, a Qigong has 3 components: breathing, posture, and imagination. This Qigong involves the training of body, mind, and spirit. Simply put, The body is trained through postures. The mind is trained through the five-element thinking, and the spirit is trained through the imitation of animals. There are 3 levels of training. The first level involves gathering qi by body orientation to the different directions and bringing the qi to different parts of the body so as to nourish that particular part of the body with good qi. This process involves awakening one's body area to the best suited frequency vibrations. The second level emphasizes the exchange of qi. It uses an animal posture such as open the lion's mouth and involves gathering the qi and sending it out to a target from a particular part of one's body. Both the first and second levels of training are considered static training because they do not involve a constant changing of orientation. At the same time, the second level involves the use of reaction force, which is the energy generated upward as your force is pressed into the ground. The concept of the 3 treasures is introduced at this level, although it takes on greater importance in the third level. The third level is dynamic because it is the level of circulating qi. The body is like a planet in orbit. Just as Earth has an orbit, so do we. At this third level, we synchronize our orbit with that of the Earth as well as the greater universe. This synchronization involves the balancing of our qi with the Earth's qi and the qi of the greater universe. This level is symbolic of the 3 treasures. The sky above us is the greater universe, the Earth is below us, and man is in the middle. The meaning of balance can be understood if we think of the planet Earth as being balanced within the Milky Way. It orbits around the Sun, but it is also a part of the greater solar system. We as human beings can achieve balance on Earth in an analogous way. Third level training focuses upon the meaning of change. Change is the defining element of Bhagwa. Tersely stated, the Bhagwa philosophy is that the only constant in life is change. We constantly change directions as we walk the circle. We change the intensity of energy. We change our focus in accordance with the trigrams and when transitioning from one to the other. We are also changing from yin to yang and yang to yin as we remain in harmony or balance with our environment. The ability to balance all of these changes requires maintaining consistency at some level within oneself. This is described as having a constant heart, which is the sense of calm within the chaos of change. Dynamic training simulates change, and it is through this condition that the mind, body, and spirit learn to cope with constant change. This process then develops the constant heart, because when change comes in real life, even without warning, there is no surprise. While this is obviously important to martial artists, it is also important to each of us as we attempt to cope with the stresses imposed by change in our daily lives. Qigong expands a conscious awareness to areas where most people only act unconsciously. Through training, an awareness is developed. This awareness becomes second nature and is experienced as a sixth sense that allows the practitioner to better anticipate change in his environment. As mentioned earlier, one of the 3 components of Qigong is imagination. Maximum benefit is derived from this Qigong when the imagination is freely used. Qi is said to go where the mind sends it. When you are asked to use your mind to guide Qi to certain parts of your body, you are really being asked to imagine that you are sending energy to these parts of your body and to further imagine that you can feel this happening. Ultimately, after much practice, you will be able to trace the path of this energy within your body. At the same time, you will be asked to synchronize this process with your breathing. Successfully using this Qigong is dependent upon your willingness to suspend disbelief and use your imagination. This completes the introduction, and it is now time for us to begin the first level of training. The postures for each trigram begin by standing with your feet together. Your tongue is on the roof of your mouth. The first posture is Wuji. Note that the hands are dropped on both sides of the body. Wuji contains yin and yang, but the yin and yang is not defined or discernible. Wuji is energy, a state of balance. Bring your hands up to your dantian. Men should have their left hand over their right, and women should have their right hand over their left. This is called the Tai Chi posture, and in it yin and yang are now defined. The next posture is called Liang Yi, or dynamic Tai Chi. It happens as the hands are separated. Open the legs and go to Shishang, or the four images, which equates to 2 arms and 2 legs. As you do the movements, be sure that your tongue remains on the roof of your mouth and that you breathe through your nose. On the inhalation, bend your knees slightly and on the exhalation, straighten your knees and rotate your pelvis in such a way as to tighten your anal muscles while simultaneously gripping the ground with your toes, thereby ensuring that you have a good connection with the earth. This connection allows you to purge your body through the Yong Chuan, which translates into the bubbling well, which is located on the bottom of the foot, near the center and the toes. You will also be purging your old qi through the Lao Gong, which is located in the center of the hand, and also purging through your fingers. When we gather qi, we do so with the idea that we are going to replace the old and stale qi with fresh qi. Thus, after we have brought the new qi in, we need to remove the old qi from our bodies. This is done by grabbing with our toes, which awakens the bubbling well. The bubbling well acts as a conduit or passageway for the qi being purged. It also allows us to better ground ourselves as we do these exercises. As a general rule, the hands are used to collect qi, and both hands and feet are used to purge the qi. When closing, go from Shishang to Liang Yi. At this point, draw the qi into your dantian using your abdominal muscles, and inhale as you go to Tai Chi and then to Wu Ji. As you practice this qigong on your own, it is recommended that you do the movements in groups of 3s. In other words, do all of them 3 times, 6 times, or 9 times, depending on your time and stamina. Let's now begin with the first trigram. Facing northwest, the first trigram is Qian. The element involved is yang metal. This trigram emphasizes the head. By yang metal, we mean metal that has already been mined and shaped into an instrument, such as a knife or axe. This consists of 3 solid lines. The qi is collected at the byway and brought down to the haidi. The byway is located at the top of one's head, and the haidi is located between the genitalia and the anus. Start with Wuji, then Tai Chi, and Liang Yi to Shishang. Then turn your arms, and as you do so, imagine that you are gathering all the qi from the universe, pulling it down around your arms as you raise them above your head, and focus your palms on your byway. Continue to use your mind to guide your qi down the central column, which begins at the byway and ends at the haidi. The central column is just in front of your spine. As you use your mind to guide the qi, you can also intensify the process by bending your knees slightly. Now, synchronize the movement with your breathing. As you bring the qi in, inhale, and as you exhale, send the qi out and move the hands back to the horizontal position. When you inhale, you bring the qi from the byway to the haidi, and as you exhale, the qi goes from the haidi to the byway. While inhaling, tighten your anal muscle and grab with your toes as you straighten your knees. Then relax for only a moment before you begin the next inhalation, and again bend your knees. Facing north, the second trigram is called Kan. The element involved is water, and the part of the body is the kidneys. The trigram consists of two broken lines on the outside and a solid line in the middle. This trigram can be understood if one thinks of the two broken lines as the bank of a river or yin and the water running in the center as yang. To begin, repeat the process of going from Wuji to Shishang and turn your hands forward. As you bring your hands around in a circle to face your dantian, imagine that you are collecting all the qi from all of the water on the planet. Bend your knees as you inhale and start to bring your hands around the belt of energy that has been built up around you until your palms are facing your kidneys, which is the water reservoir of your body. Use the Lao Gong or center of your palm to generate heat. Focus this heat on your kidneys and heat up the reservoir of water, sending heat all over your body. As you exhale, turn your hands until the palms are facing down and imagine water running down from your hands at an angle into the ground. Remember to tighten your anal muscles and grab with your toes. Facing northeast, the third trigram is called Gun. The element involved is yang earth, which is like that of a mountain. Gun emphasizes the back and shoulders. It is yang or solid on the top, with two broken or yin lines below it. It is shaped like an upside-down cup. Go from Wuji to Shishang when you turn the palms upward. Allow the fingers to point slightly downward. As you inhale, use your fingers to draw the qi from the earth, bringing it upward, and use your arms as though you are cupping the qi to form a mountain in front of you. Sink your elbows and arch your forearms as you bend your knees and slightly drop your shoulders by expanding your scapula so your back becomes more rounded. Exhale by pressing your palms down. Imagine that you are pressing the qi back into the ground. At the same time, straighten your knees, remembering to tighten your anal muscles, and grab with your toes on the exhalation. Facing east, the fourth trigram is called Zhen. The element involved is yin wood, symbolized by the roots and lower trunk of a tree. The body part being addressed is the liver, which for purposes of this qigong is located below the rib cage on both sides of the body. The symbol is two broken lines on the top and middle and a solid line on the bottom. Note that it is shaped like a cup with an opening at the top. Start with Wuji, go through to Shishang, and then rotate the arms. Imagine that you are holding the wood qi of the entire planet in front of you. Bring this qi into your palms, your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, and into the rib cage where it reaches the liver. Inhale and bend your knees. Exhale and purge as your arms come back out to repeat the move. Facing southeast, the fifth trigram is called sun. The sun trigram is external wood such as the upper trunk and branches of a tree. The arms and legs as well as the hips and waist are involved, and the direction is southeast. The symbol is two solid yang lines on top and a broken yin line on the bottom. This is yang wood because it has more exposure to the sun. Begin at Wuji. Go through the process to Shishang. Turn the palms so that they face forward and then compress all the wood energy into a ball of energy in front of you, and rotate this ball by turning your waist once to the right and once to the left. As you exhale and grip the ground, raise your arms, allowing the qi to release into the air as well as the ground. Facing south, the sixth trigram is the Li trigram, and the element is fire. Li relates to the heart. It is depicted as a solid line on the top and bottom and a broken line in the middle. The starting position is south. It is important to note that in China, maps are displayed with the south on top and the north on the bottom. Thus, fire would be on top and water on the bottom. Maps were made this way because the emperors were traditionally in the north and would look south over their empire. Thus, when maps are made from the emperor's point of view, the feather side of the compass would be north and the arrow side south. From Shishang, inhale and imagine that you are gathering all of the earth's fire. Bring it up so that that energy meets with the sun's energy. Begin to bend your knees as you bring all of the qi down to heart level. Notice that both hands form loose fists and are kept close to your sternum. Imagine all of the fire energy going through the sternum and into the chest cavity where it nurtures your heart. Exhale, and by extending your arms with the palms facing down, imagine you are dispersing bad qi out from both your hands and feet. The path taken for your hands is either out through the Lao Gong or the ends of your fingers into the atmosphere. The path for used qi through your feet is out either the bubbling well or your toes and into the ground. For people who have heart problems, it is useful to imagine that all of the qi being dispersed is the bad qi causing your problem. Traditional Chinese medicine healers use this technique to protect themselves after working on a patient as well. Facing southwest, the seventh trigram is called Quan. The element is yin earth. The front of the body, particularly the abdominal area, from the chest to the lower abdomen, is emphasized. The symbol is three broken yin lines, the reference being to a valley or lower ground. Go from Wuji to Shishang. Inhale and turn the palms so they are facing up. Bring the energy from all around into the front of your body, imagining that the outside front of your body is like a vacuum. Imagine the qi as viscous as it moves slowly down the front of your body and into the ground. Note that the wrists are bent, the elbows are bent, and the knees are bent as you inhale. The exhalation involves straightening of the knees, dispersal of the bad qi to the sides, as well as through the bubbling well and toes into the ground. Facing west, the 8th trigram is Dui. Dui is yin metal, which can be metal ore in its raw state. The body part is the lungs. The symbol consists of a broken line on top and 2 solid lines below. Go from Wuji to Shishong, and then begin as though you were doing the 6th trigram, except that you need to imagine that you are drawing qi from the ground and bringing it out. Then press in with your elbows, while keeping your palms focused on the side of your ears. As you focus your palms on your ears, imagine qi coming into your body through the ears and going down into your lungs. Notice how your shoulder blades work down and out. The movement of your scapula has the effect of massaging your lungs. On exhalation, bring your hands to the sides, turn and push down, letting the qi release through both your hands and feet. This concludes the 8th trigram. To transition to the 2nd level, you need to practice the movements for the central palace. The importance of the central palace is that it functions as a bridge to transition from the 1st to the 2nd level, and then as the bridge from the 2nd to the 3rd level. The focus of the central palace is the dantian area as well as the stomach. The element can be considered as neutral, or it can be considered to be earth. The symbol is traditionally the yin-yang symbol associated with Tai Chi Chuan. Open as you have done on all the previous trigrams, turning the palms facing forward and bringing them in so that they focus on your stomach and the pancreas behind it. This awakens the nutrient qi. Make a ball with your hands as you bring them downward to focus on your dantian. This merges the nutrient qi that is horizontal with the guardian qi that is vertical, and thus awakens your body's immune system. Similarly, in martial arts, as you prepare to fight, the qi goes to the dantian. Thus you have now joined the energy of the pancreas, the stomach, and the dantian, which is the area of the central palace. This area is known as the central palace because it is the center of gravity of your body. The dispersal is through the hands and feet, with the palm up. When we include the central palace as part of the training is called 9 palaces training. With the central palace, it is not necessary to face in any particular direction, so you can pick whatever direction you want to face. However, if you are doing the Qigong with a group of people, it is customary for the group to form a circle when practicing the central palace. There is a more simplified version of this Qigong that can be done by busy people. This version is called Yang Qi Huang Yan and was introduced by Great Master Liu Yuan Chao. Grandmaster So will now demonstrate this form, first in slow motion and then at regular speed. Start by inhaling through your nose as you do Wuji. Exhale through the nose as you do Tai Chi, Liang Yi, and Shishong. Inhale through the nose as you do water to Central Palace. Continue to inhale as you come up and exhale through your mouth as you go to Yin Wood, then to Yang Wood. Inhale through the nose as you go to yang metal and then to yin metal. As you go to fire, swallow your saliva and then exhale through your nose and mouth as you go to yin earth. Separate and press down into yang earth and then come up and inhale into shishong. Then go to liang yi and tai chi. Close into wuji as you exhale. Note that as you begin the inhalation on the con trigram, the body contracts and the knees bend. The body expands on exhalation. The second level is the level of energy exchange, and the spirit of the animals is emphasized at this level. We are still talking about the 5 elements, directions, and body parts. We will also introduce the concept of the dantian as a distribution center, and various fingers and parts of the hand and foot as connecting links to the qi. The second level starts with collecting the qi in the same manner that it was collected in part 1. The qi is then brought to the appropriate part of the body, transmitted from there to the dantian and back to the appropriate part of the body, and then discharged or issued to a designated target. The spirit of the animal intensifies the magnitude of the power during the issuing stage. Awareness of the hands and feet also intensify the power issuing. Let us first take a moment to discuss the horse riding stance. When doing this stance, it is necessary to have the feet slightly wider than the shoulders. Be sure the feet are parallel with one another and that the knees point slightly inward, creating a triangle with your thighs. An ideal horse stance involves sinking until your thigh is within 15 degrees of being parallel with the ground and definitely not below the 90-degree mark. But when beginning, most people find that their butt sticks out as their pelvis rotates outward before they are able to get that low. It is more important to keep your butt in with your pelvis aligned properly. Thus, we recommend that you only go as low as your body permits. Going lower requires strengthening both leg and back muscles. This can be done by doing the same stance against a wall. Beginning with Qian, the element is yang metal. The animal is the lion. The connecting part of the hand and foot is the top or outside portion as well as the fingers. Orientation is collecting from the northwest and discharging to the southeast if possible. In this context, each individual must decide for themselves how far they can and will turn, but if you are able to turn 180 degrees, this is best because the qi will be more intensified. You can do this exercise as often as you like, doing an even number of movements right and left. When first beginning, it is perfectly acceptable to do it once on each side. Note also that when you go from one side to the other, you need to go back to your original posture. Sink the qi to the dantian and use the reaction force to turn in the opposite direction. Begin by collecting the qi. As you inhale, bend your knee into a horse riding stance. Sink as low as you can while still keeping your rear tucked and pelvis aligned. Imagine that all the qi goes to your dantian. The process is that as you sink, the qi which has gone to the Haidi in the collection process is now in the dantian, since the dantian and Haidi actually meet. As you sink, the qi goes into the ground and the reaction force coming from the ground is then directed through your eyes and your arms towards the target, which is in the southeast. Focus on the outside of your arms. As the trigram shows, there are 3 solid lines. The upper hand and the head is the middle line, and the lower arm is the bottom line. The head is turned, and the eyes are kept wide open. You can choose a tree, a building, or any other object for your target, and adjust the intensity based on the distance. Higher frequency can go farther than lower frequency. This posture imitates the spirit of the lion, and it is called "the lion opens his mouth." The second trigram, Kan, is done facing north. The animal is the snake, and the connecting finger is the pinky. The qi is collected from the north and discharged into the south. As you sink the qi, first to the kidney and then to the dantian, allow the reaction force to turn the waist, and let the prevailing arm glide downward as though it were a snake slithering into the grass, which is the name of the posture. This trigram emphasizes the prevailing arm in the middle, while the upper line is the upper body, which is empty or relaxed. Note the chest is caved in as well, and the lower line or legs and waist are bent and twisted, suggesting yin. As you come back to the horse riding stance, notice that the hands remain on the sides and back of the body. Sink and use the reaction force to turn in the other direction. The qi comes into your kidney area, goes to the dantian, and then back through the kidney area and out into your arms and into the ground. The third trigram is the gun trigram. The spirit is like the bear, the element is yang earth, the connecting part of the hands is the lao gong, and the connecting part of the feet is the bubbling well. As you bring the qi down to your dantian, your back and arms are rounded, and you turn your waist horizontally. As you use the reaction force to distribute the qi, it goes to your back and arms. The upper body and your arm are considered solid, while the area in front of your waist and your legs imitate the 2 broken lines. The posture is called bear turning his back. The qi goes from your back to your dantian, and then to your back, and from there through your arms and legs into the ground. Fourth is the Gen trigram. Qi is collected from the east and sent into the west. The spirit is the dragon, the element is yin wood, and the connecting finger is the index finger. As you sink, bring the qi into your liver and from there to your dantian, back to your liver and out through your fingers and palms. The qi flow is directed out your fingers and palms by turning your palms and raising them upward until your palms are as high as your ears. The power is multidirectional. There is a sense of pushing up from the Lao Gong and drilling forward from the index finger. The name of this posture is Dragon Soars in the Sky. Since the waist is turned in the middle and the hands are not really extended, the two top lines are seen as broken. The yang energy is from the leg. It produces the reaction force and is seen as the solid bottom line. Fifth, the Sun trigram is yang wood. Qi is collected from the southeast and sent into the northwest. The connecting part of the hand is the area of the hand that extends from the webbing to the tips of the index finger and thumb, but also includes the entire arm. Circle once to the right and then twist your waist and legs as you extend your arms and turn your head. The qi circling in front of you drops to the dantian and then extends to your arms and beyond. The head is the upper solid line, the arms the middle solid line, and the twisted legs are the broken bottom line. The spirit is that of a large bird. The posture is called peng, or phoenix spreads its wings. To do the other side, rotate counterclockwise and then turn right. The sixth trigram is the Li trigram. This is the fire trigram. The organ is the heart, and the connecting finger is the middle finger. Collect the qi from the south and send it north. The animal is the hawk, and the posture is called Hawk Pierces the Sky. Gather the energy as before. Bring the energy down to the heart and from there to the dantian. Then, as you turn, separate your arms, one twisting upward and the other twisting downward. The qi returns from the dantian to the heart area and from there goes to the arms. The arm going up represents fire and the arm twisting downwards represents water. The heart in the middle is empty and represents the broken line. The seventh trigram is the Quan trigram. The element is yin earth. The connecting part of the body are the wrists. The energy is collected southwest and discharged to the northeast. The spirit of the move is that of the unicorn. Gather the qi as before. As you bring it down the front side, bring it to the dantian and then sink. Let the reaction force turn you and have both palms face each other and continue to move them one forward and one back as the front fingers point downward and the back fingers point upward. Both arms bend at the wrist. The upper arm is considered to be a broken upper line, the lower arm is considered a broken middle line, and the knees are a broken bottom line. The posture is called Unicorn Spits Out the Book of Knowledge. The qi travels down the front of the body into the dantian, and from there returns up the front of the body to the arms and out. The last of the 8 trigram is the Dui trigram. It is yin metal. The connecting body part is the ring finger. The energy is collected in the west and discharged in the east. The spirit of the posture imitates the ape. The posture is called Ape Presents the Fruit. The energy force comes out through the palms into the sky. The hips are the bottom solid line. The forearms are the solid middle line, and the wrists and palms are considered the top broken line. Begin the posture as in the first level and gather the qi. Bring it in through the ears to the back of the mouth and down into your lungs. As you sink, bring the qi into the dantian. Bring the qi from the dantian to the lungs and from there to the arms. At the same time, let the reaction force turn your body. As the qi returns to your lungs, exhale by pressing the arms together so that the elbows meet and the arms are joined together from elbow to wrist, pushing the air out of the lungs. This concludes the 8 trigram at the second level, and we again turn to Central Palace. Since the Central Palace deals mainly with yin and yang, it does not require a directional orientation. The thumbs are used for the connecting energy, and at the end of the collection part of the move, they are facing each other. While you bring the qi down, focus on your stomach and on the pi, or pancreas, which is located behind your stomach and in front of your spine, roughly at the level of the bottom of your shoulder blades. Rotate both palms, sinking the wrists with the web between your index finger and your thumb remaining open. Line up your middle finger with your nose. The other middle finger is close to the front elbow. The qi goes from the dantian to the palms and is discharged from the palms. A part of the second level involves the use of sound energy to amplify vibration within the various parts of the body and to increase power. There are two levels of sound, soft and hard. Noise has low and high frequency. Thus, when you use the soft sounds, there is a different effect than when you use the hard sounds. Normally, the soft sounds are found in many different Qigong styles that emphasize health benefits. The hard sounds are also useful for health, but they are mostly for martial arts benefits. It has been noted by Western medicine that weightlifters who make grunting sounds as they lift seem to be able to increase the force exerted by as much as 30%. The soft sounds derive from the Taoist tradition and are designed to create vibrations in various parts of the body. With regard to the hard sounds, many martial arts have adopted similar sounds that seem to work well with specific body parts. For instance, yi and ya are sounds that stimulate the head region. Ha stimulates the chest and front of the body. Hung stimulates the lungs, shoulder, and back. Ha, the stomach. And hei, the lower dantian and kidney area of the body. Ye is the rib cage, liver, and spleen area. Grandmaster So will now proceed to demonstrate the sounds, first doing the soft, then hard, and finally the soft and hard sounds. We have given you an approximate spelling for each sound. Please note that as he does the sounds, the posture is expanded. This expansion is synchronized with the sound so that with the soft sounds there is a slower expansion, and with the hard sounds, a faster one.
Om Yeah. 呀！
We are now ready to go to the third level. The third level requires some understanding of circle walking. Circle walking is movement from ko to bai and bai to ko. Grandmaster So will demonstrate circle walking using the Central Palace walk. Bai means toes out, and ko means toes in. Simply stated, the inside foot is always bai and the outside foot is always ko, thus ensuring that you will walk in a circle. As you step, keep your weight back so that you can land your foot flat on the ground and at the same time grip lightly with your toes. Note that it is not necessary to actually land your foot flat as much as it is important that your weight remain back so that your posture upon stepping is what is called a 70-30 stance, with 70% of your weight on your back foot. It is important to develop a probing sensation in your legs. In other words, as you walk, you sense the ground with your toes and also probe what is in front of you with your legs. Part of this training requires that the legs rub lightly against each other. The hands and eyes face the center of the circle. The chest is turned towards the circle, but it never faces the center directly during the walking. The inside hip is turned to the extent that it is pointed in the same direction as the chest. When walking individually, a 6 or 8 step circle seems to work the best. It is important to keep the same height and not bounce up and down. There are at least 2 reasons why maintaining a constant height is important. The first is that by so doing, your chi and your center of gravity remains on the same level. The second reason is that an opponent can gauge your movements with greater accuracy if you do bounce. There is a natural tension which you will feel in your joints and muscles, yet the body should remain as relaxed and free of stress as you can make it. The chest should be hollow with your head straight and your tailbone tucked in. Shoulders, elbows, and hips should feel as though they are sinking down. When your head is straight and your tailbone is tucked, your spine will be straight and slightly stretched. This does not mean that the spine needs to be perpendicular to the ground. It can remain at a slight angle from the vertical plane. What is important is that you find a position where you feel most in balance. Breathing remains through the nose with the tongue on the roof of your mouth. The only exception to this rule is when you are doing sound training. The breathing is normally natural breathing, but breathing can be combined with the changes in a number of ways. For example, you can inhale as you walk in one direction and exhale as you come out of the horse stance and walk in the opposite direction. Or you can inhale as you go into the horse stance and bring chi into your body, and exhale as you emit the chi. The third level is known as the 8-mother palm. As such, the third level constitutes the transition from Qigong training to martial arts training. Note that Grandmaster So no longer continues to observe the same orientation that was used on the first and second levels when he makes the transitions from left to right. Although a training step can be incorporated that does this, it is not necessary. You can change directions as often as you want, and the amount of practice is up to the practitioner. The first is the Qian trigram. The basic principle for making this and all of the other transitions is that the arm closest to the center remains in the center until the other hand joins it and proceeds into the center. At the same time, the inside foot begins as bai, the outside foot joins to form ko, and the back and hips press the weight down in what had just been the outside foot. The reaction force is then used to make the turn through the hips, the back, the shoulders, and the arms until it reaches the tips of your fingers. The next is the Kan trigram. Note that the hand comes down on top of the other hand during the transition. Note that the arms are touching. The third is the Gun trigram. The inside hand remains in the center. The other hand comes over from on top. Then push down, turning the body to begin the next circle. The arms do touch, but this is not emphasized. Next is the Zhen trigram. When doing Zhen, turn both palms downward. The outside arm comes in below the inside arm, touching each other for most of the move. Turn at the wrist, open the arms, and draw the elbows down towards the rib cage. The next move is the Sun trigram. Rotate both palms so that they are facing each other. The arms definitely touch, and the outside hand then goes into the center. The inside hand passes across the chest, and the palms rotate upward, and you begin to walk in the opposite direction. The next move is the Li trigram. In this level, because the move will ultimately be a martial art move, the bottom wrist is no longer bent downward. The arms move simultaneously. The upper hand is seen as fire, and the lower hand is seen as pushing the water downward. It is not necessary that the arms touch in this movement. With the next move, which is the Quan trigram, the hand inside the circle turns, and the other hand comes forward underneath as both arms are touching. With the last trigram, Jui, the transition consists of 3 movements. First, turn both palms down. Then turn over, push out, then push upward. Finally, the central palace is used to finish this phase of the third level. Walk in the circle. When you complete the circle, form Ko and bring the backhand up your midline and into the center of the circle, thus changing sides. Again, the movement of your hand is brought about by use of reaction force, coming from the force that you exert into the ground. We now come to the linking phase of the third level. The concept of linking is fundamental to Bagua. We do linking because we want to experience changes. Bagua is a binary system. Actually, the I Ching, or Book of Changes, is predicated upon the use of a binary system. This can be described as 2 to the power of x. When x equals 1, it is Liang Yi, and when x equals 2, it is Shishang, and when x equals 3, it is Bagua. After 3, the progression is usually referred to as Bagua development. For instance, when x equals 6, the number is 64, as in the Bagua 64 palms. Each trigram equals a group of 3. Thus, when 2 trigrams are joined, there is a group of 6. Thus, a combination of 64 moves becomes possible with all of the transitions. In other words, the first trigram can link with any of the other trigrams. This is equally true for all of the trigrams. The human body is an incredible machine. When you think about it, it is capable of more varied tasks than anything man has invented. At the same time, much of its potential is untapped in our modern world. The method of tapping our potential is to allow the qi to flow freely, and this begins with focusing on the linking or transitional aspects of Bagua. For purposes of fundamental training, we are only going to show the linking as it appears in the sequence that we have previously followed. After you have become comfortable with this sequence, it is recommended that you develop sequences of your own to practice as well. We begin by facing the central palace and go from Wuji through Tai Chi to Liangyi to Shishong, and from there we go to the commencement move. The commencement move involves stepping forward with the right foot and dropping the weight so that you are in a 70-30 stance. Turn the right foot by pivoting on your heel into a Bai posture. The left leg follows with Ko, so that now both feet are facing each other and the toes are pointed inward. Bring the left hand under the right arm with the left palm facing up and the right palm facing downward, and extend your arms in both directions so that you feel expansion in your back, particularly between the shoulder blades. Twist your waist as much as you can while looking over your right shoulder. This posture is called hidden flower under the leaves. Turn towards the center of the circle and begin to walk. As previously stated, this form is known as the 8-mother palm. Although it can be practiced individually, it can be practiced by 2 people or in a whole group for purposes of developing sensing, listening energy, opening gates, closing gates, timing, and all other aspects of changes, including weight shifting. When practicing the 8-mother palm in this context, the emphasis is on the linking of the moves and not on the order in which they are practiced. Grandmaster So will now demonstrate how to link the various trigrams together when walking the circle. Bear in mind as you watch this that you have the choice of either doing one side of each trigram, as shown here, or both sides before doing the transition. In fact, there is nothing to keep you from doing some on one side and others on both sides. You can use whatever order you wish as you continue to practice. When ending, open the arms as though to embrace all the qi and bring it into the dantian, as the feet do Bai and Ko, and finish facing the center. A different topic is the ascending, descending, buffering, and parallel sequences as based on the 5 elements. Time does not permit us to deal with that at this juncture, and so we will save it for a later time. We will also save discussion of the use of spiraling energy until we deal with the martial art aspect of Bagua Zhang. These subjects are in preparation, and we hope to have them available soon.